Hello and welcome to Bending Perspective, different takes on Avatar the Last Airbender. My name is Emily.
I'm Abigail.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Adrian.
This week we're going to be covering the episodes in Season 2, Journey to Ba Sing Se, Part 2, The Drill, the longest title ever, City of Walls and Secrets, and Tales of Ba Sing Se. So we're going to start with The Drill. Okay, so we're changing something. We spend way too much time on summaries, so we're going to just read a short online overview. It's on Avatar Fan Wiki. That way we can talk more about the plots because the plot is increasingly getting more complicated. So there's more to talk about. Alright, so the drill overview. Having successfully navigated the Serpent's Pass, Aang gets to turn the journey to Ba Sing Se in the hopes of finding his lost bison, Appa. However, he discovers a Fire Nation drill heading straight for Ba Sing Se. Intent on destroying the wall, Aang and his group succeed in demolishing the drill from the inside of the mechanism. Meanwhile, Jet wishes to recruit Zuko as a member of the Freedom Fighters, only to learn Zuko and Iroh are firebenders. So that's a very succinct summary.
Succinct.
Yes. So we finally get to Ba Sing Se. I think the episode before, actually, we see Aang flying up the wall, and we can get the scale of the wall, which is huge.
Yes.
We meet the Earth General, which was interesting. And
was he Shu? Was that his name?
Yeah.
Oh no, he's a little scaredy cat though.
Yeah, he did not handle the situation well. We learned that Ba Sing Se means impenetrable city. It's kind of cool. Also, another fun fact, this episode premiered on television on my 9th birthday.
Oh.
I know. Alright, who wants to go first? What do y'all want to talk about?
Oh my gosh, there's so much to talk about.
I know. We'll start.
Okay, so we get another showdown between our gang and Azula.
Yep.
We get a lot of different things happening with different ideas to take down the drill. Turns out that one of the most, well, it really takes everything, but one of the most effective is when they stop up the slurry that's coming out in the back, and it takes both Katara and Toph working together, which I think maybe the first time we see them bend together, because they're bending both the earth and the water at the same time. That's coming out, which is really cool. Aang's, use of his airbending to evade Azula, and that shot of him running up the wall. I mean, that was really cool.
Aang, this is the first time we see Aang comfortably use earthbending. He uses a lot in this episode.
He does.
Yeah.
There was just so much action. It was very action-packed. It was very well animated. There was just a lot going on. It's almost, it was almost an overload of action and different things happening. So a little, I had to go back and rewatch some things because I was sure that I had missed stuff, and I'm sure I still did.
I loved Sokka in this episode.
Yes.
So I love that they all look at him and going, "You're the planning guy," and just waiting on him. So I think that made him feel important too, which is good. He definitely has his place in the Cordo.
That brings up a point. Are we going to stick with the Cordo, or are we going to go with the brand new Team Avatar, as they have dubbed themselves? Or Sokka has dubbed them, at least.
Cordo. Go bang your head against the wall.
I'm saying my vote is Team Avatar.
Cordo. Anyway.
Also, the drill itself, I think it's a different form of animation. I think it was 3D animation or something.
Yeah, it certainly looked different.
Yeah.
You get it a lot with Fire Nation vehicles, as they have a different sort of computer-generated animation.
I think it's cool. I think that brings a whole new dimension to the series.
Yeah.
Literally.
It makes sense that Azula would be leading in this mission.
Yes. Also, the drill is huge.
Oh,
but it was hard to see how big it is compared to the wall, which is a
massive.
Also trend with this show is huge things being compared to even more huge things.
Yeah.
The scale of the walls was hardly comprehensible, really. Just incredible. And I guess the way that they were pushing it, and the general in the drill saying, we have to push through the wall and we have to send our firebenders through this, breach. And the time sensitive part of that is, if you think about it, well, if you give them enough time, the earthbenders are just going to plug it back up. They have that ability. So it was very much about, we've got to break through right now, and we've got to get our people through. And when Aang and his crew stopped it, that was able to. Then but you wonder, do they have another one of those things?
Oh, I'm sure.
I don't know.
But I loved seeing Qatar and Aang getting tired and seeing that this plan does not work.
Yeah,
at this rate, it won't work. And we saw them get fatigued and unable to follow through with the plan.
Right.
And so then they had to rethink everything and go to a plan B. And there was so much wisdom in that plan B. Where did he get it from again? Toph. Right. So
Aang did.
So hitting the pressure point, is what they called it. So hitting the pressure point and having to rethink it.
From Qatar talking about Ty Lee.
Yes.
But then the second part of the plan was Aang saying Toph said you can't put all your energy into one thing.
Right.
Yes. It was so much wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I also love that Aang just walked up to the general and said, "I'm the Avatar. What are we doing?"
Right.
Like you really see him kind of accept, even taking just this book in generally. It's way different than the last book where he's like told the refugee family, I'm gonna lead you through, and then
he's taking charge.
Walked straight up to that general. So
that general needs somebody to take charge.
Good Lord.
So we figured out we've got at least some more insight. We already kind of figured it just in their elements itself, but Earth is obviously very, very much more defensive.
Mm-hmm.
And the Fire Nation is all about attack, and they're all about defense, and that's why this war is taking so long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So neither side can gain a definitive advantage.
Seeing my favorite moment was Aang about to go run up the wall and hit the pressure point. And he goes, "Stop firing the rocks!" And the general goes, "Never stop firing the rocks!" And so Aang, on top of everything else he's doing, is dodging rocks on the way down. And then Azula's lightning. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The animation of the lightning is stunning.
Cool.
It was like I said, it was almost visually overwhelming as much stuff as was happening.
I get that, because now you're making me want to rewatch it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's one of those episodes you can rewatch a lot. Because the fighting is so cool. And them both sliding off the side and Momo picking them up.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
It's good stuff.
And then I loved Toph and Qatar working together to plug it up.
Plug that up,
So cool. And then what's May just going, is it over?
It was Ty Lee that was May didn't go down there.
May peeked her head at the end and said, "So, we lost."
So it's actually interesting that, I guess May is just not that... She said she can shoot all the lightning she wants. I'm not going down there.
Right.
Like, she was just like,
not doing it.
I like it, though.
Yeah. It's interesting, though. Because, I mean, Azula does not seem like that would fly, right?
No, I mean, we saw her manipulating Ty Lee.
Yeah.
And Ty Lee was like, there's no other option except to go with her.
But she didn't have to manipulate May. May was happy. She said, finally.
That's very true.
You know, May went along happily, so you get the impression May's well connected as well. You know, we know her parents are a governor.
So they mentioned earlier that they all went to the school for noble girls.
Right.
So they're all of noble blood. I was using quotation marks.
Yeah, there usually would be in most societies a very large social distance between the daughter of a governor and a circus performer, though.
Well, a circus performer is the daughter of noblemen.
Yeah.
That's what Azula said.
Yeah, she ran off to the circus.
When she first saw Ty Lee again, she said, what is a nobleman's daughter doing out here in the circus?
Yeah. Okay, so what else? Oh, Toph's blind joke.
All of Toph's blind jokes.
I know. When she got when they
got in the dark, couldn't see. Oh no, that must not be lying.
I love her.
That's hilarious. We also saw her again staying outside because she couldn't see inside.
Yes.
And she slowed it down from the outside.
Oh, she did a lot.
Kept shooting rocks up.
Yeah, she did a lot.
Or pillars up, I guess.
It was very, very helpful, for sure. She's, again, proving how strong she is.
Yeah.
And we had a Zuko subplot.
Did we?
Yeah. Not a very big one.
Not a very big one, but we had a little Zuko subplot.
What was it? I don't remember it.
Just that they were coming into the city and...
Is this when Jet sees him?
Firebend.
This is when Jet tries to recruit them. And Zuko says, "You don't want me in your group." And then the reason why Jet suspects, rightly so, that they're firebenders is Uncle Iroh complains of his tea being really cold. And then when Jet looks back, it's steaming hot.
What was that quote of Zuko? It was like, for such a wise old man, that really was a stupid thing to do.
Yeah.
Or something.
And Zuko's right.
It was. It was dumb.
But I think that gives insight to Iroh, too. Like...
Well, he doesn't think about it.
Yeah.
You know, making his tea hot is just what he does.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's all we had with them. It just kind of sets up the next episode.
Yep.
With Jet.
Yep. Cool stuff. Anything else?
The whole... Wait, is that next episode where Jet starts surveilling them?
Yes.
Next episode.
Yes.
The drill... I will say, Mommy said if they have another one, they did in the beginning specify that this is a technological miracle, basically. Which to me, it's like us with rockets, right? Like, yeah, we could have another one, but it's going to be inexpensive and long. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing.
Wow. Do you know how many rockets we have?
I know, but if we're talking like, let's say we have a mission that's going to Mars, right? We don't have 2 Mars rockets ready at the same time.
Yes, okay.
So, we have one.
Yeah.
We are launching to Mars next week.
We have what?
We're launching to Mars next week with
Is
Perseverance.
that a drone?
Satellite or
it's our latest rover.
How long does it take?
We call him Percy.
Oh. Okay, sorry.
Wait, I need to know how long is it going to take till he gets there?
A long time.
A couple months.
Yeah, travel to Mars is long.
Poor person. Okay, back to Avatar. Sorry for our space detour.
We're
never
space family.
Yeah, we're never too far from space.
We're in this household.
So that's my broken NASA rocket.
Okay, anything else about the drill?
I'm ready for next episode.
Very good episode, though.
What are you going to say, Dan?
I was going to say it's a really good episode.
It is.
In the beginning, for some reason, I had an impression that it wasn't that good. And then when rewatching it, I was like, yeah, this is great.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think it's just because it's surrounded by so many. I was thinking about that the other day. You know, that bunch that we watched that had Zuko alone, The Chase, and Bitter Work all together.
It's like top 3.
Those are like my top 3 now.
Well, let me tell you, this next bunch kicks that bunch butt.
Well,
good
I don't know how.
Yeah, season 2 is just...
It's a banger. And at the end of season 3 is a banger, too.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, anyway, so... Let's move on. Oh! Little trivia. These 2 episodes premiered as a movie event, even released in like select theaters, and it was called the part 1 and part 2, and it was called The Secret of the Fire Nation. And it didn't do well.
These episodes we just
Serpent's Pass and The Drill.
Wow.
Because
they hyped it up with the secrets of the Fire Nation.
It's not really much about the Fire Nation.
I think they just marketed it wrong.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Okay, anyway. That was according to Avatar fan Wikipedia.
Wow.
Okay, so moving on to
City of Walls and Secrets. Aang and the rest of the group arrive in Ba Sing Se to find Appa and inform the Earth King about the solar eclipse, but they are constantly hindered by their tour guide, Ju Di. They soon learn that any mention of war is forbidden and enforced by the Dai Li, the secret police of Ba Sing Se, and their corrupt leader, Long Feng, who appears to know something about Appa. Elsewhere, Jet repeatedly tries and fails to gather evidence that Zuko and Iroh are firebenders. His last attempt, challenging Zuko to a sword fight, ends in his own arrest.
Well, that doesn't really do justice. It ends in his arrest and then brainwashing.
Yes. So, did they mention the lake they take him to this episode? I think they mentioned it in passing, right?
Yes.
Lake Logai?
Yeah.
So...
Laogai.
Well, Logai is also a word for Chinese Communist Party work camps.
Yeah, that's what it was based off of.
Yeah, they're equivalent of gulags.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, Jet's not going to come back from there the same person he was when he left.
I don't know. I'm assuming no, though.
No, and I'm sure we're going to find it. We're going to see it.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure that's
okay, so let's start from the beginning, though.
Guitar and Toph.
No, that's next episode.
Tales of Ba Sing Se.
Is it?
Yes. We're on Cities of Walls and Secrets.
So the first thing that happens is we see the city.
And oh boy, is it not beautiful.
Oh, yeah, and it's huge.
I didn't really think it was pretty, but I don't like cities.
I love the design of this city.
I'm not a huge city fan either, but it was just incredibly...
It was awe-inspiring
at the scale
of
what you were seeing.
Yes.
It was too big, though. too many walls, too many places, too many houses.
So let's talk about the walls. So you have the outer ring, and Judy's telling them all this in a pleasant, flowery manner.
With a smile on her face.
And she's like, this is where our new arrivals live, as long with our craftsmen and artisans.
It's the ghetto.
And it's a slum.
It's a slum.
It's bad. Yeah, it's not a great place to live. And
she says that. She says, watch your backs here.
Yeah. And then they go to the middle ring, which has, like, lower government officials and the university. And you can see that the houses are more spread out. There's more green.
It's the suburbs.
It's the suburbs. And then we get to the upper ring, which is beautiful.
Yes.
Like, looks like a dream. People have property. Oh, we didn't even mention on the outer ring. So it took them a while on the train to even get into the inner ring where people actually lived.
Right.
Because it was farmland.
Right.
And in the drill, we saw that the houses were on the inside of the wall. And Daniel noted when we were watching, he's like, that's so they don't waste farmland.
Right.
You know, their houses on the side of the wall.
So it takes a lot to feed that many people.
Yeah.
And we see that all their food sources within the wall.
Yeah.
They have absolutely no concern.
So this reminded me so much of Ecuador because of the foundation that we are on. You are surrounded by a wall with glass shards on top. Everything they eat, everything they drink, everything is on that foundation. And then you have the buildings of like, this is our farmland section off here. This is our church and the schoolyard here. This is where you're going to sit here and eat here. Yeah. It reminded me a lot of that.
They're self-sufficient within the walls, so they don't have to worry about imports, which they couldn't have because routinely Boston City is assaulted, sieged. The Fire Nation Navy has ruled the waves.
Yeah,
couldn't get anything
we
out
saw
of
that
it.
the refugees are in this. They took great care to make this hidden bay, right?
Right. So do they even fish? Can they even go out on the ocean and fish?
No.
So this is so cool to me of how much detail the writers paid into this.
Yes.
And how intricate this mattered to them.
Yeah.
Now, and I know we're in Boston Say for a little while. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So I get that. So you've got to pay a good bit of attention to how many episodes we're in it. But like houses being on the edge for more farmland, that's probably not going to come in play. But that's such a cool, interesting point that they made.
Far more developed than the Northern Water Tribe was.
Oh, Lord,
yes.
Well, really, the Northern Water Tribe, we saw the wall and the palace.
Yeah, that's it.
Pretty much nothing in between.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a little bit glimpse of like the cities and how the canals run through it and the houses and stuff, but not very much detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And I love to see Toph's reaction about how much she hated it there.
Okay, so my thing is about that. If she was hidden away, she's obviously been to Boston Say, though. I guess people her own age didn't know she existed.
Maybe.
But I'm sure, like...
I'm sure they had, like, government parties or...
Yeah.
She knows or whatever.
Been there.
And she knows the people that are there. Like, she name-dropped people at that party like nobody's business.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that I guess maybe she was too young and nobody really told her about it, but she had no real understanding of Dai Li at all.
No, she did not.
No,
which everyone else in the city seems to understand.
I'm thinking that's more of an age thing.
That's probably an age thing.
Right.
So also, I mean, we see Aang kind of get depressed because it's a big city. He also makes a throwaway line, not really a throwaway line, about how that's why I never came here. It's so different from what the monks taught us.
Yes.
So that gives you into insight that it's been like this a long time.
Yep.
Yes, that's because the Earth Kingdom is all about order, whereas the Air Nomads are all about freedom.
Yeah, so, and I mean, Aang obviously is not a fan of sectioning off
the
basically wealth of the city.
Yes.
Like,
and it makes it harder to find Appa.
Well, yeah.
Well, it's impossible to find Appa.
And that line Jodie said, the outer walls for protection, the inner walls are for order.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's rough.
Ooh, so cringy.
Bad.
Yeah, we get a purposefully really bad vibe from the whole thing.
Yeah.
And Jodie, like, walking around with him. Judy.
Yeah.
Everything
walking around with him, and every time they say something, like, that's not acceptable, when she just frowns and shakes her head.
Oh, well they're talking to the people, and they are watching Judy, not the kids.
Yes, they look at her to see what they can say.
This is
so
such a great way to communicate to kids, though, how more things control people than is seen by the eye, right? Like, it's such a way to introduce the idea of, like, social capital and, like, pressure and how it's...
Propaganda
and how it's easy to control people when they are in your palms like that.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Well, you're supposed to.
And I was mistaken. She doesn't frown. She just shakes her head.
Yeah.
She's always smiling.
She always smiling.
No, she does frown at one point, and then we don't see her again.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, we see her frown once.
So the gang gets upset because Judy tells them it's going to be a month till they can find...
Or 6 to 9 weeks, basically.
Or see the Earth King.
Right.
And, I mean, given the scope of the show, which is 6 months...
We know that won't work.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
So they set their efforts finding Appa, and then... Yeah, nobody's cooperating because of these unseen pressures and ties that are holding people. The one guy, their next door neighbor, he was like, it took me so long to get here. I'm just a minor government official. I can't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a good job.
But can we appreciate that moment of levity when they got the invitation to the party for the King's Bear? And they all were trying to figure out what kind of bear it was. Platypus bear? No, it just says bear.
This place is weird.
It's so cute.
It's so cute.
We needed that.
Yeah.
I love how they sprinkle in those little moments that we really need at times.
So, speaking of those little moments, Aang and Sokka this episode were so funny together. Like, every time they had their little side quest, it was just, they're just getting, you can tell they're becoming friends now. So basically they decide to go to the party, and I love that Toph is like, there's no hope for y'all.
Yeah, y'all can't blend in. Y'all cannot do it.
Also, when Katara and Toph are getting ready, Aang and Sokka are playing basically rock, paper, scissors, but with the elements.
Yeah.
That was great. I want to know the rules.
I know.
I wonder if Air's not in there anymore.
Oh, Dan.
We had to have 3 elements, otherwise the game doesn't work.
Hey, stop it. Leave it there.
Yeah. And then them going in as best boys. So I love first of all, it's cool to see a party, right? But I love that...
And a cool bear.
The Dai Li, got everybody else, but he confronted Aang and said... He didn't try to grab Aang.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Which was smart, yeah.
Which was smart. And it also tells us that he's not to be underestimated.
Okay.
He's
and also,
smart.
he knows where Appa is.
Yep.
And somebody
when he
somebody better get our Sky Bison back. Because I'm over it.
I was so mad.
Yeah, let's talk about, what is y'all... Abby, did you expect them to have not Appa this long?
I don't remember it taking this long.
Yeah.
I also don't remember this last episode. I don't think I've ever seen it.
I really expected, him to be gone one episode.
Yeah.
And then when it was 2, I was like, okay, but no, we're really stretching it now.
I know.
It's been a lot.
Now, it's also hard because I remember the episode where we get Appa.
Okay.
And so, I'm anxiously awaiting that episode. Yeah.
So, anything... Okay, and then we get the brainwash
of
government control, nobody in the walls know the war.
Okay, so do y'all believe, and I do, this is my theory, I believe that Uncle Iroh knew that he was being observed, and that's why he was so careful about the starting the fire to cook.
Oh,
after Jet stole their little fire striker.
Yeah.
Uncle Iroh absolutely knew that he was being observed.
Yeah.
He's being watched.
So, you want to talk about Zuko and Iroh real quick?
Yeah,
They've started up in a tea shop, and Iroh is proving to be a very good employee.
And he's living his best life.
Yeah.
He's so happy. Mm-hmm. And Zuko's just kind of like, okay, we're serving tea now.
And Iroh keeps making comments like, there's no shame in this life.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And it was just so funny to see Jet hurling those accusations and the people of Ba Sing Se saying, hey, leave them alone. This is like the best tea maker in Ba Sing Se. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
But I loved the sword fight. Because,
so good.
It was, anytime Zuko grabs swords, I'm here for it. I'm just here for it. I love watching that. The choreography of the animation is just so good.
And we get proof that Zuko is better than Jet, who we thought was an amazing player.
And again, he keeps pushing him, you're going to wind up firebending, and that's a callback, because we know that in Zuko alone, he did.
Yeah.
Of course, in Zuko alone, he was against a bender, and Jet's not a bender, and he can definitely hold his own against somebody who's not a bender.
The shot of him cutting off the tip of his
his little straw.
Yeah.
I like the fact that like Jet's followers are even like, "Hey, you're crazy."
Yeah.
Yeah. We see Smeller being long shot. Like
I love long shot.
Long shot's the best. And then, like, we thought we were leaving this behind.
Jet said, "You said that long shot." He just went,
So yeah, Zuko working in the tea shop is hilarious. First of all,
Yes.
but it's also like. I don't know. We also don't see him crazy about where's Avatar, where's Avatar, where's Avatar. So I don't know. It's a little different.
I think it was humbling for him.
Yeah.
But he needs that. Remember, Iroh told him humility is the opposite of shame.
Yeah.
So he needs to learn some humility in order to get rid of that inner turmoil that's keeping him from being able to bend lightning.
Also, does Iroh seem happy to you? He seems happy to me.
He seems content. Now, I always believe that Mr. White Lotus has got something else up his sleeve all the time. Ha ha. Call back to the White Lotus being up his sleeve, which is not by chance.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean, he's always got something up his sleeve. That's the whole point. That's why he found the White Lotus tile in his sleeve. So, yeah, he's always got something planned. I don't know what it is, but I don't believe, as content as he does seem, that Uncle Iroh believed that he and Zuko would live out their days in a tea shop in Ba Sing Se.
He knows that the Avatar's there?
I think, yes, I do.
You think Uncle
He knows
Iroh
a
knows
lot.
that?
First of all, I think that would probably have been passed around. I think that...
Zuko doesn't know.
So that's another thing about Ba Sing Se. You get the idea, because, okay, let's jump to the end of the episode where Long Feng is basically confessing to
being
that he's the power. He's the power behind the throne.
And him being the power he has implemented, which seems to be going on since the beginning of the war. There's no war here.
Yeah.
There is no
war in Ba Sing Se.
So, but you know the people in the Outer Ring know there's war in Ba Sing Se.
They're all refugees.
Yeah, and they're not dragging people in, every single refugee, because we haven't seen Iroh and Zuko get dragged in.
Right.
So that means there's not communication between the Outer Ring and the
I don't know. I'm just not gonna after the White Lotus episode. I'm never going to underestimate what Uncle Iroh knows.
Fair enough.
You know.
So
and he knows the city.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he laid siege
He
here
knows
for
the Outer
quite a
Rings.
while.
He knows the Outer Rings, but he didn't get in the inner wall.
True.
That's the thing. He was able to breach the outer wall, but wasn't able to get inside anymore.
Yeah.
And another thing that's interesting is the soldiers know. They have to know. They man the walls.
Yeah,
So, and the military is completely cut off from civilians, because in the past we've seen the military essentially act as police force.
Yeah.
Like in the Fire Nation, Garrison,
but not here.
and then in the North. But not here.
Not here. They have
The
their own.
Daily or the police force, and you never see the military off the walls.
Yeah.
You see a different police force, the ones that are in Iroh's tea shop, and they've got the swords and the hats with the square up here. The same uniforms that Suki had when she was working the ferry.
Yeah.
You see them, but they're not. Yeah, they're not soldiers.
Yeah.
Which is
Interesting.
So, yeah, pretty dark concept of brainwashing citizens.
I really didn't like it.
Well, you're not
that
supposed
concept, right?
You're not supposed to, but it was rough. Because, I mean, I did feel like my boy Jet was too much of a bad influence on Zuko, but he didn't deserve that. And the thing is we know he was right.
Oh, he's 100% right.
We know they were firebenders.
Not only are they firebenders, they're dangerous.
Oh, they're exceedingly dangerous.
They were mean firebenders.
Like, Jet is coming from a childhood trauma, and this is, like, his driving force to, I hate to say it, but to, like, live at this point. He's got nobody else. Yeah. You know, like, that's all he has. And if he thinks they're firebenders, he's going to chase it full force, just like we saw.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way if people found out who they were, they wouldn't presume that they were spies. No amount of, we're actually on the run from our own nation. So you think the
Dai Li doesn't know?
I think the Dai Li probably knows who they are. The Dai Li is probably aware of who Iroh and Zuko are, but I don't believe the Dai Li know that they're within their city. I think they would have picked them up if they did.
Yeah, I don't think they know either.
Don't know. Okay, so anything else about... Oh, I love this was the first of many times that we get the two subplots. We're going back and forth with a monologue over, you know, connecting the two subplots, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, as Long Fei is talking about basically the brainwashing, we see Jet getting brainwashed.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a cool
Oh,
scene.
yeah, that end scene. Yeah.
That end scene was
really good.
disturbing, but very good.
Yeah. Alright, anything else about City of Walls and Secrets?
All right, here we go. Everyone, Tales of Boss Say.
Tales of Boss Say.
Sure, so, there is no real summary here.
No, yeah.
So we're just going to talk about it.
So let's go in semi-chronological order, though. We start with Toph and Katara.
I love this one. It's so cute.
It is cute.
So it opens with Toph and Katara wanting a girl, or mainly Katara wanting like a girl's day, relaxation kind of day. And so they leave and go get like spas. Or I think, what's the first thing they do? I don't know.
They just go on a spa day. And they get makeup and
get all pretty, and they look adorable. And on the way back, we see some Bossing Say girls that are too good for their own britches make a comment about Toph's appearance. And so, like, immediately you see Toph shoulder slouch, and, like, obviously that affected her or whatever. Why are you rolling your eyes at me?
Because of Maddie's barking.
Yes, we're so sorry. She's having one of those days where she's very loud.
Co-host has a lot to talk about these 3 episodes.
Fifth co-host. But anyway, Toph and Katara kick the girls' butts and make them get wet, and Katara has a sweet little segment of being really nice to Toph.
I can't even communicate about that ending with Toph and Katara about how Toph was like, obviously, I don't care what I look like because I don't even have reference. But it still, like, hurt her for them to say it. I don't know. I related a lot with that being a tomboy. You're supposed to not... Like, you know when you're a tomboy and you're supposed to not care about it, but you still do? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
I feel like that's very relatable. And it's always good to show girls dealing with that problem. Because pretending like appearances to young girls isn't a problem is a bad way to handle it.
It's naive.
Yeah.
Because it's a problem.
So, like, acknowledge it and talk about it.
Yeah, and they did. And they did a great job about it. And so, Katara was just so kind to Toph. And then at the end, she said the most perfect thing she could. Mm-hmm. Hey, by the way, you really are beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which
and then Toph said, I wish I could say the same, but I don't know what you look like.
Yeah.
Which is I feel like perfect.
They just... Yeah, it's a show about really strong women. But it also tackles, like, they're strong, but they also have the same insecurities every other girl has.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So they're still girls.
Right.
You know,
they're not still young girls.
Yeah, they're still young girls. And I really appreciate that about this show.
So, one little bit on this tale that I really liked was when Toph said, they better not touch my feet. And they do that thing where they, like, flower
yeah.
And it just made me think, like, that's like doing that to your eyes.
Yeah.
Oh! Yeah. Yep, got me there. Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah.
Thanks, Daniel.
Alright, so next up is Iroh. Let's all just cry together.
I can't do this.
I wasn't ready.
We're literally gonna tear up. So
I was not ready.
It shows Iroh going throughout Bossing Say, helping various people, and he ends up on a hill honoring his late son, and they introduce a song, which so they made this song, right?
I believe so.
It sounds 100 years old.
Yeah, like, it has the feel of a song.
Of a folk song, yeah.
Of a folk song or a lullaby that you would sing to your children. It does.
Generations.
For generations.
Like, because you know how they sound different.
Yeah, they
did such a good job with making that song.
And the first time we hear him sing it, he's smiling.
Yeah.
And he's playing, an instrument to a little kid who's crying to make the kid stop crying.
So, yeah, we see him. So, this is kind of a little, I don't know, I feel like a English major. But so the first thing he helps is a flower. Mm-hmm. And getting, not a romantic basket, but that was mentioned. So you could say that is helping his romantic interest. Mm-hmm. Then we move to a little boy, that part of fatherhood. Then we move to a kid. Mm-hmm. And then we move to a young man.
A young man.
So he goes through the stages of fatherhood.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
We see every bit of it.
Yeah. And it was so beautiful.
It was... What did you say? It was 4.5 minutes long?
It's 4 minutes and 17 seconds.
Yeah, unbelievable. The amount of storytelling that they did in that amount of time.
Yeah.
And not just storytelling, but also... It's hard to say shedding more light on Iroh's character because everything that he did felt authentically like the Iroh that we've already come to know. Mm-hmm. But it just gave it more depth. Yeah, it gave it more depth.
Okay, so... The writing on the picture of his son is actually from his son, and it says, "To General Iroh, we will see each other again after the war. Your loyal son, Luton."
Oh,
that's the actual Mandarin on it.
I love, like you were saying earlier, Mom. Like I can imagine Uncle Iroh walking around aimlessly a city.
Mm-hmm.
And just walking, going for a walk, and pushing a flower out of the sun
And
when it
helping
needs
people.
it. And helping it. And that's great and awesome, because I can see him doing it. But then when he got on that flippin' hill, and he started singing that flippin' song with the flippin' picture, I lost it.
I did too, because it was just the perfect callback to what we had seen earlier. And even though it was only like 4 minutes earlier, right? It wasn't like it wasn't a callback from 6 episodes ago, right? But we did have, I forgot until I was thinking, going back, and I kind of went back and kind of went through some episodes to kind of ground, because it's been a while since we recorded. I had to get back in the right frame of mind. So in Bitter Work, as he's asleep, unconscious, he has a flashback to holding Lu Ten as a small child.
Yeah.
And it's very brief.
That flashback isn't him holding Lu Ten. That's him playing with Lu Ten and holding Zuko.
That's in a later episode. He is playing with Lu Ten in this one.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was his
a later
son.
episode.
Hey Daniel, go Benga ahead and small once
in
again.
season 3. This is a toddler Lu Ten running at him. That's just a picture.
What?
I'll
I thought
show
that was
you
in that
later.
flashback.
No, I'll show you later.
Okay, well I took it as his son, so whether it was Zuko or not.
It was Lu Ten.
So we had that reminder, but just, even though,
I'll tell you what you're talking about.
I don't know. I think it's just, even though it felt like that song coming back at the end, it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I'm like, it was just a few minutes ago. Why am I so shocked to hear it here? But it just, I guess it separated itself enough in my mind
Oh, I thought that was that vision.
that I was able to be completely emotionally devastated by it in just a short period of time.
Yeah.
And it was just that's one of the best 4 minutes of animation I think I've ever seen. I would hold it up to some of the Pixar openings, like the opening of Up or something like that.
You mean that like bow thing where it's pudding that the mom...
The dumpling?
The dumpling?
No, we're not talking about
No,
that.
we're not talking
You mean
about that.
it's not good as that little dumpling boy? You sure? Little dumpling boy.
Why does she eat him? I don't understand.
I hate that thing. Okay, please come back to the Iroh.
Alright, well, that line, my son, if only I could have helped you.
No.
After he'd been helping people all day.
Yeah. And all he does is help people. Well, mainly he focuses his attention on Zuko, but yeah.
But it gives us more insight, I think, as to why it's so important to him to not leave Zuko.
Yeah.
Because even when Zuko left him, he followed him.
Yeah.
Because he might need him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it gives us some insight as to why. Because, he lost his only child. And Abigail, I think you said this at a previous podcast. Uncle Iroh lost his son. Zuko basically lost his mother and the only person that cared about him. So they both needed each other at that time.
Yes.
And they still do.
Yes.
And we know now that he would, it's been driven home to us. He ain't leaving Zuko at all. I mean, he's going to be with him through the end.
What was the... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead.
No.
Okay. I loved him literally teaching the guy how to mug better and then ending up making him realize he didn't want to do it.
Right. Giving him another career path and giving him a cup of tea.
You really think I could be a masseuse?
So sweet. Also, Abigail, what are your thoughts on the earthbending soccer? They were playing in the streets.
That was so cool. Also, once again, reminded me of Ecuador because they use the walls in Ecuador because they're surrounded by walls everywhere, and so they do that. They kick it up on the wall and wait for it to go up. Yeah.
Yeah. Loved it so
the
much.
whole thing. Yeah, the whole thing was...
What? Oh.
Andrew's judging me.
I'm just... Yeah. It was,
okay,
a lot.
let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on because
next
I don't...
was...
Aang.
and
Or maybe
zoo.
Sokka or whatever.
It was first.
Aang was the zoo. It was cute.
It was cute, but it wasn't monumental. It didn't teach us anything.
Cool earthbending.
Yes.
It was cool. Very good earthbending.
Yeah.
The animals were cute.
Yep.
His relationship with them was super cute, and it was,
and on brand.
Yeah, he's good with animals.
This really went better in my head.
Yeah. He was cute.
But there wasn't really much to say about that one, or about Sokka's.
Or Sokka's. Sokka's was cute too. I will say the one thing I say about Sokka is it's another installment of him partaking in a, in quotation marks, womanly art form.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the Kyoshi Warriors. You know what I mean?
It's very reminiscent of the Kyoshi Warriors.
I think he's just widening his horizons.
And he's just like down to clown. He's cool.
Yeah.
Like, that was just cool.
Yeah.
You know?
It was fun, but there wasn't a lot of weight to it. And I guess that's necessary. We couldn't have handled an entire episode with the weight of the Tale of Iroh.
Yeah, it needed some levity.
So the next closest one, I think, is Zuko's.
Yes.
Zuko's is a good one, but I was actually going to Abigail. I was actually going to go with the next weightiest one to me was Momo's. But we'll get there.
Love Momo's. That's why I was lost.
So Zuko, he basically goes on a date.
How long was it? His seemed really long to me.
I think it was about the same as mine.
Really?
Yeah.
It was just the awkward bits that seemed like 100 years.
Yeah, it took forever.
Iroh basically, like, Mulan's grandmother pushes him into a date.
Yes.
And, he's so bad at being a normal teenager, y'all. It's rough.
He's bad at it.
And she was so adorable.
She was so cute.
And she has basically been stalking him going to the coffee shop all the time.
She was a cool player, too. That girl had confidence.
She was right there,
when she turned away and did that little smile thing towards the end.
Yeah. But when he comes out, she messes up his hair. He said, "To my uncle, 10 minutes to do this."
My uncle did. Oh my god. I would leave the day. If they said that. But he firebends.
Yeah.
Basically in front of her. Her eyes are just closed.
That was so sweet.
It was sweet, but, like, how dumb is she, you know? Like,
I know.
What does she think happened?
I don't think she...
I think if she knew, she wouldn't care.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think she would have figured that he's also just running from the Fire Nation.
Yeah. I really
Which
think
is accurate.
It's accurate. Yeah. It's 100% accurate. And I mean, I think we've seen that before because we had the Deserter episode. You know, there are people who leave and run from the Fire Nation.
Yep.
So I think she wouldn't care either. And she may have figured it out. But also, I love the little thing, you know, when he comes in and he does the typical, you know, angsty slam the door and then he pokes his head back out and said, "It was nice." It's so cute.
It's nice to be normal. You know what I mean? It was cute.
It was super cute. Again, it didn't teach us anything that we didn't already know about Zuko, but
it showed us how really bad he is at being a normal person.
Yeah.
Like, very significantly bad.
I left that little episode made me feel just more anger at what he was raised in. You know, because think about what he's lost. What having Ozai for a father and Azula for a sister has cost him.
I don't know about Azula's dating skills, but I'm sure she's bad too. You know
That's what I'm saying. Both of them, in a way. I mean, I'm not going to believe me. I'm not going to start feeling sorry for Azula. I'm not there yet. But I just feel that it was just sad that he didn't know how to just kind of relate to somebody his own age.
Yeah, and like, what was up with your girlfriend you like dessert? She's not my girlfriend. Like, what was up with that? Was that just pointing...
I think commitment.
Yeah, maybe to him being
I don't think he really despises having a life here in the Earth Kingdom.
Yeah.
That's true.
He's not staying in the Earth Kingdom.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was commitment.
Yeah.
He just...
Alright, anything else about Zuko?
And I don't think Uncle Iroh has any intention of staying either, but he wants, while they're there, for Zuko to live like a normal... to experience life.
Uncle Iroh desperately wants Zuko to, like, date girls and chill out in Ba Sing Se.
Yeah. I think he just wants to find... he wants Zuko to be content with where he is and not about where he wants to go. You know? Like, just be content
but
with
he's
where
also
you are.
teaching him to be...
To fight Azula.
To accept other people of other kingdoms.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, well, that was part of his teaching in Better Work as well. Is you have to appreciate the other elements and the other people.
No, Abigail. Oh, God.
Abigail, you're clapping.
I got it. Okay, she could fly.
I got it.
Okay, so anything else about Zuko?
Alright,
Momo
time.
Go, Abigail.
Momo. So Momo basically gets chased. What do you on earth were those animals?
Alright, they were pygmy panthers.
Huh?
Pygmy panthers.
Pygmy panthers?
That's what it said on the wiki. Pygmy panthers.
On the wiki. So Momo gets chased by pygmy panthers because he wanders, basically. He's just a pet, and he wanders away. And he gets chased by these pygmy panthers, and he finds a tuft of Appa's hair in the beginning and is carrying it around with him because he keeps thinking he's seen Appa, which is great flashback of when Aang kept thinking he saw Appa.
In the desert,
cloud,
yes.
in the whatever. They keep seeing Appa places where he's not.
Which you do.
He goes and chases things and then gets chased by things. And they end up, like, taking the tuft of hair and they get caught.
Yeah.
And then
by animal control. He helps them escape Aang. And then, it's Aang.
Yeah.
And then they lead him to one of Appa's footprints.
Right, because they can smell it.
He's in Ba Sing Se.
Yep.
But
they're still far away.
But Momo doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Momo doesn't understand what's happening.
Yeah, he doesn't.
It is really sad and poignant at the same time. I love the looking and seeing him so many places. You know, it's so real. When you're missing something, you see it everywhere. You know, before you guys were even born, we lost a dog. We had a pet that disappeared out of our yard one day.
Talking about Rebel.
And we loved that dog.
Rebel.
And I remember one time when I realized I had to look at every black dog that I saw. He was a black lab. Every black dog that I saw. And I did it for so long that I remember specifically one day when I said, you know what, you really should stop. Because he would be dead by now. I looked for him for like 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So every time I saw a black dog, I would do a double take. Is that him? Because you see him everywhere because you miss him so much. And I think about, when I watched this episode, I thought about that. You know, they are so, and I love that the writers have not let it, no. Like we would. They haven't let us forget it, right?
Oh, no.
We all know what a hole this has left in everybody.
I also think it's a testament to the writers that Momo got his own story.
I love it.
An animal character, like...
Well, he freaking deserves it.
I know,
it was
but I feel like that's a sign of the strength of the show. Right?
Yes.
That they can make that story so compelling.
It was very compelling. No, you could have never spoke.
Yeah, but we know Momo, right? Like, that shows how good they animate him and write him.
And when he was holding that tuft of hair, it was
and then did he lay down in the paw print?
He did.
Yeah.
He lays down in the paw print.
He didn't realize that was Appa's paw print, I don't think. I think he just thought he was just somewhere in the street, just lay down. I don't think he realized it.
I don't know.
So is his sense of smell not as good as the Pygmy Panthers?
Well, I don't know what the Pygmy Panthers were, because they were highly intelligent just to bring him to, like, a paw print and I think he was...
They smelled it. They smelled the hair.
We also saw the Pygmy Panthers and Momo sit on top of a roof. They could have seen Appa.
That's true.
You know, I don't know. So, it was cute.
But he went from being chased by the Pygmy Panthers, was acting like they were going to eat him, to kind of being their little de facto leader. It was very cute.
Yeah. All right. Anything else about these?
This was such an unusual episode in its structure.
What was it? Anthropology, like short stories?
Yeah.
It's just a collection of short films instead of one,
big
episode. So just
it's
really
still all tied.
Yeah, everything was topical. Everything fit into what we were doing right now, but at the same time, it just gave us all these different perspectives, and so you have to wonder what.
Did it fit your perspective?
You have to wonder why. What's the purpose? Is this a filler episode?
Ask myself.
Yes, it's a filler episode.
So, what are the writers wanting us to pay attention to? They want us to leave knowing that Momo and the others still look for Appa. They want us to learn more about Iroh's compassion, like we needed it, but they drove it home.
Yeah.
They want us to know more about Zuko trying to fit in. They want us to know that Katara and Toph are starting to become friends. So there's you have to think about everything. There's as tightly written as these seasons are. There is a purpose. Yeah. So these are all things I think that are going to matter.
Yep. All right. Favorites, Abby.
Mine. Part 2, the drill. Sure. I forget the name. The drill. Okay. Yeah, the drill.
During the Ba Sing Se Part 2, the drill.
Okay. Good God.
Mine's City of Walls and Secrets.
Wow.
I'm going to have to go with City of Walls and Secrets, too, for these 3.
I gotta go Tales of Ba Sing Se.
Wow.
Okay. Well, I think we should do a special segment for this episode. What was your favorite tale?
Iroh. Abby.
Well, now I feel bad.
No.
What's yours?
Momo.
Yeah, it was good. Abigail, it was my second favorite. I think it was the one with the most weight after Iroh's. Yeah.
Yep, I have to go with Iroh as well.
My second favorite was Zuko.
Yeah, I like Zuko's one.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Actually, though, I think I like Sokka's more, which is funny.
Really, just because it's funny.
Yeah.
That was my least favorite. Sokka's one.
Well, I mean, it was just...
My least favorite was
It's
Aang's.
just dumb.
Yeah. Okay, anyway.
Okay.
Alright. And you gonna jump into it?
I am not.
Nope.
No, I'm staying with the chase.
What was my bitter word? Yeah, I think this is better bitter word.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're jumping?
I just know, I know what my favorite episode is, so I'm just jumping till I get to it, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is better than bitter word, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mine is to the
What
desert.
about you, Dan?
The desert.
I'm sticking.
To what?
I'm trying to remember the name.
You were
of it.
Zuko alone.
Yeah,
last time.
Zuko alone.
Okay, next episodes are Appa's Lost Days,
Please.
Lake
God,
Loud
let me get
Guy, and The Earth King. Such a banger! I'm so excited. All three of these
Okay,
episodes.
we've
These
got
are the
an
last 3 episodes
episode.
before the season finale, right?
Yep,
We've got an episode with Appa's name in the title. Please tell me he's coming back.
I ain't telling you anything.
I ain't telling you nothing.
All right, well, I'm about to go find now. Netflix, here I come.
All right. Well, speaking of that, I believe it's your turn for the outro.
I think it should be Netflix.
I think my outro is Netflix. Here we go.
I like it.